whole thing was too obvious this time. Ever since on the daily we got the hash ribbon buy signal on the 7th of October, and we had our golden cross on the 15th of September. Everything was set up for this run, hopefully. Like for the end of the year run, probably. And it will maybe extend to January and February. Interesting cycle, interesting bull cycle. I hope this price discovery mode we are in just prints more and more winning, more and more dollars. More and more, I mean, thousands of dollars increase. Like we see Bitcoin jumping $500 to $1,000 every wave up, which is gonna be ridiculous. Like 70K, 74, 76, 78, 80, 84. All these great numbers
What's
are
the
good
daily
times.
ATR on Bitcoin right
ATR. I don't use the ATR. Uh,
now? Okay, I'll be home in about 10 minutes.
ATR. Okay. It's double topping at 3,000, if I'm not mistaken. Is that how you read it? 3,000? Like at the very top. Almost. Almost at the very top. Not really. Or does it have different values? Did I pull up the good like ATR?
I don't know. 3,000 seems a little high for the daily, but
Yeah, I'll try a different ATR here. Let's see.
Adam, don't you have a Gates down there? Get Gates.
Yeah, I do. And Jack Stack's pretty fire too.
Oh, fucking Jack Stacks, yeah. Yes.
Sounds like the play tonight.
At least at Jack Stacks, you won't have to, take the abuse that you get when you go to Gates.
Yeah, they got me pretty good the first time.
PTSD from that place.
Yeah. She said, honey, we don't got no ranch.
Oh.
This is a barbecue joint.
That is not how she said it either.
I was like, damn. All right, let me get some more barbecue sauce.
I just wanted to throw out too the ATR. You could do the volatility, basically the whole range of the price that you're looking at, or the thing you're looking at, the price of it over whatever time frame, and kind of get. That's pretty much what it's looking for, really. I don't have it actually ran on the number itself though right now.
I found this interesting one by Lazy Bear. It's like ATR with Bollinger Bands. Interesting.
That Lazy Bear is pretty creative.
There's a RSI with Bollinger Bands. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems interesting.
The ATR with Bollinger Bands is intended for futures. It's supposed to be set for the intraday. I'm not 100% sure about it.
We really do need some cool background music. We can just chill.
That's why I was trying to hype you up earlier to you. Like you said, whoever sends stuff in, do what you do, and anything that's legit to play or anybody can get something or whatever, it'd be awesome.
Thank you for reminding me. I just turned mine on because I just turned my stream on. It's been on for like just under 5 minutes.
I'd like
Forgot
to
to put the
request
music
some
on.
creepy, sexy time music for later on this evening, please.
Little Barry White.
My darling, I get enough of your love, baby.
And more like, the theme song Behind the Green Door.
I'm afraid of running the same music over and over, so I always say, run your own music at the background. Moon
That's true.
phase indicator. I think we're one day away from another buy. Wait, sell or a buy? Yeah, a buy. Even though the latest one, like if you bladed by the moon indicator, it would be like an 21% loss right now. But hey, it is interesting to see what the moon cycle do. Will it print a buy? Will it actually like keep pumping higher? It's the most likely outcome, honestly. Ooh, I see some red on the 5-minute.
I'd be interested in that RSI with Bollinger Bands. That would be pretty cool.
Aussie Senate Committee proposes overhaul of crypto taxes, DAOs, and exchange licenses. And that could be the saving grace for my situation, not being able to futures trade in Australia. When did this article drop? 13 hours ago, while I was sleeping.
They're trying to take that right from you to do that.
You mean they try to take it right from you? What do you mean?
Oh,
Oh, Binance?
They already did it.
Yeah.
They did it, yeah. It's already happened, yeah.
Okay.
It sucks, yeah. I mean, I think KuCoin's still good. I can still use KuCoin futures, but yeah, all good. I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way. The Senate Committee on Australia, as a Technology and Financial Centre (ATFC), has just tabled its third and final report in Parliament, which has 12 far-reaching recommendations for regulation of the digital asset and fintech industry down under. It proposes new licenses for crypto exchanges, new laws to govern decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, an overhaul of capital gains tax in decentralized finance, DeFi, and a tax discount for crypto miners using renewable energy. That's cool. So it's encouraging people to take the renewable route for mining because they get a huge discount. Well, a tax discount. I don't know if it's huge or not, but
that sounds really positive.
Yeah. In general, the report found that there is a need for more regulatory clarity and certainty while avoiding stifling innovation with onerous requirements. A key recommendation is to establish a new DCE market license for digital currency exchanges, including requirements relating to capital reserves and auditing. The requirements should be scalable so that smaller operators are not squeezed out of the market. Well, that's good. It is also recommended the capital gains tax rules should be updated to provide more clarity around the tax treatment for crypto assets and DeFi staking. The committee suggests that unlike in the current system, capital gains tax should only be applied when cryptocurrency transactions genuinely result in a clearly definable capital gain or loss. The committee also recommended that the Treasury lead a policy review of the viability of a central bank digital currency, as well as put forward a proposal for company tax discount of 10% for crypto miners who use renewable energy. One world-leading recommendation is to establish a new regulatory structure for DAOs, which are the DAOs, which refers to decentralized community ownership and governance of a protocol. Alright, I'll stop boring you guys with this article. But I was hoping they would say something about
That was really
derivatives.
interesting. I was hoping it would be more descriptive about capital gains.
Oh, right. I'll link the article in general, in case anyone's...
What was that?
Well, like, I mean, I
Well,
think that capital gains should only be realized when it's transferred into fiat.
Oh,
Correct.
totally. Yeah, that's what I think.
You know what's
Go ahead.
But
no, please.
thank you, Jim, for sharing that. 42 Jim Latu. He's the other Australian guy that you probably hear from time to time.
Hey, what was that little bit on mining that you just said?
Let's see.
The credits.
So they're basically they're proposing to put out a tax discount for people that use renewable energy with their mining rig. So instead of using like mains power, like from, a regular power station, which uses coal to burn.
Do solar.
Yeah, solar or wind or whatever, like any kind of renewable. Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody that's into mining, it's pretty big. It's super beneficial to try to move all your farm, like your mining farm, over to solar. And then what you can do, I mean, it's a little pricey, but I'll tell you the benefits will definitely outweigh, the cost, because now what you're going to do is you'll have an abundance of power that you can, sell back to the grid, the companies. They will buy it from you. And essentially your whole farm will be running free of charge. And it's awesome.
Electrician here. It would take one hell of a solar setup to be able to do that.
I'll read that other bit one more time. So the committee also recommended that the Treasury lead a policy review of the viability of a central bank digital currency, as well as put forward a proposal for a company tax discount of 10% for crypto miners who use renewable energy. One world-leading recommendation is to establish a new regulatory structure for DAOs, which refers to decentralized community ownership and governance of a protocol. So this is in quotations here. DAOs do not clearly fall within any of Australia's existing company structures. This regulatory uncertainty is preventing the establishment of projects of significant scale in Australia. Asher Tan, CEO of Australian crypto exchange CoinJar, praised committee chair Senator Andrew Bragg and the team for the forward-thinking approach they've taken with this proposed regulatory framework. In our view, the AFTC report strikes a commendably optimistic tone that sees blockchain technology as the historic innovation that it is, and one that comes with matching opportunities and risks. The committee heard from a range of experts and industry players, including Blockchain Australia, leading exchanges and firms such as R3 and Ripple. The latter recommended that any regulatory framework should use a risk-based approach to identify digital asset services that pose significant risk to warrant regulation. Steve Vallis, CEO of Blockchain Australia, said the organisation was keen to hear from stakeholders for their feedback on the recommendations. Senator Bragg said the proposed regulations would help Australia to become a leader in digital assets. The committee has recommended a comprehensive crypto framework to deliver Australian leadership. It will be competitive with Singapore, the UK and the US. There you go. Related. Average Aussie crypto portfolio grew 258% in financial year 2020 to 2021, survey reveals. That's pretty good. The Australian Taxation Office estimated that more than 600,000 taxpayers have invested in digital assets in recent years. independent research suggests that 17% of Australians currently own cryptocurrency. The report concluded that a robust regulatory framework was required in order to protect consumers, promote investment in Australia, and remain competitive globally. The potential economic opportunities are enormous if Australia is able to create a forward-leaning environment for new and emerging digital asset products. Well, that's good. I'm glad there's someone out there that has a brain in the government side of things in Australia, and they're like trying to appeal and make moves to, you know, to support crypto rather than try to hinder it, support the growth of it.
They say a centralized or decentralized digital bank. Centralized, correct?
I think so. Oh, let me go back to the article 1 sec.
Yeah, but that was the only thing that was on my mind.
They Control F and then bank. The committee also recommended that the Treasury lead a policy review of the viability of a central bank digital currency. There you go. So like basically that means like a traditional bank that exists already.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, centralized, decentralized, since they had named it like a crypto.
Yeah.
Did you post that anywhere? I heard you say you were going to do something. But...
Yeah, I think the general chat has been paused on Pisket server, so I'll put it in my my general.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's where it is. Yeah, all good.
Thanks, appreciate it.
No
Cointelegraph.
worries. Yeah, it's a Cointelegraph article. Cointelegraph is great for that stuff, for just things that you wouldn't really come across unless you were a news kind of person, I suppose, into the news. Let's check out how that total market cap is looking. Surely that's through the roof now. Total. Daily, yeah, there we go. New all-time high, no surprise there. So cool. Let's see what the leaderboard looks like. 1.2 trillion now for Bitcoin. Total market cap, wow. 2.629 trillion. Yeah.
It's insane.
It's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the general is open. General is open. Hey, nice.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Behave.
Kinda. And as Pisket said, thanks for holding it down in the YouTube. Feel free to troll Pisket in the general. I have a feeling he's feeling a bit cheeky. Comfortable now that the room has some solid peeps. You doing, Rick? Anyway, what's been happening, man?
Yo, I just woke up. I mean, I did check my phone to see how Bitcoin was going before I fell asleep, and I'm like, oh, all-time high, hell yeah. But I was too tired to get out of bed, so I was like, I'll just talk about it in the morning. Here I am. So it looks like we've broke through that 382 fib level.
47, 40.
And next point of support, possibly at the 0.5 fib level. But yeah, it looks like it might be coming back to back test the previous all-time high and see if it's going to hold. But check out how we...
someone with an open mic. We got someone with... Sorry,
yeah,
Rick, just
that
interrupt real quick,
I think it's
man.
Shrugs. Drugs has
Drugs,
mic.
if you could just check your mic, buddy. Just uncheck it. Put it on push to talk. Thanks, man. Sorry, mate. Go ahead, Rick.
No, that's all right. Yeah, this falling wedge, or this, you know, if you want to call it a bull pennant or a flag, either way, it's like a textbook, like, you know, move up, consolidation, and then breakout to the next leg up. But you know, the psychological milestone of breaking our previous all-time high is enough of a green light to see further growth. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's found resistance now, I don't think that's going to be the top. You know, a pullback off here would be fine. Like, you know, that's healthy. If it came back and tested the bottom of this wedge, or even if it fell out the bottom of the wedge and back tested, you know, 60k, that's cool too. Like, I think all of that would be still healthy and part of an uptrend, like an overall, you know, macro uptrend. So if we go back to the daily chart, I'm going to hide the drawings just so you can see it clearer. Yeah, you can see it's it's just all vertical with no real retracement. Like, the only real retracement that we've had lately is this one, this falling wedge that we produced off the run from 30,000 up to, you know, 53. Then we retrace beautifully, ABC correction. That's kind of what needs to happen off this stretch here, this impulse wave. Doesn't mean it has
ABC
to happen.
correction.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it has to happen right now. It just means it will happen at some point, you know? The way to target where this impulse might end is with the fib extension tool. So you grab the bottom of the impulse, take it to the top of the impulsive move up on the first leg. So that's 30 to 53. And then you pull it back down to the bottom of the ABC correction, like that, which came back as low as 39,600. And then if I just scroll this across, you can see where the price initially found resistance at the 1-to-1 fib extension right here. See that? It didn't quite make it, but it's I feel like it's close enough to be a test of that level. And then the next major fib target is up here, 1618. 77,850, which is still like quite a ways up. Yeah. And that would be a wave 3, which means there's still a wave 4 correction to come, and then a wave 5 impulse up, which could take it even higher. So hopefully that's how this plays out.
Just, can you imagine the alts if we can get that 5th Bitcoin, that 5th wave?
Oh, hell yeah.
Alts will go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are already starting to feel some of the love. Like, we got, let me see, I'm going to sort this by percent change. You know that one that Cheddar and Chemical were trading? They jumped into it when it got listed. That's up 18.5% right now. But I mean, that thing's been bleeding out ever since it got listed, pretty much. But still, like, maybe that's found support. Like, you know, if I go back to this list here and I'll look at it, yeah, see, much the same as what what's it called, Shiba did. You know, it got listed and it bled out. It found a low and then trended outside of that low. Or it traded in a range for some time, and then all of a sudden it got the break. But I think the advantage that XNL has this time around compared to Shiba is that the market's in price discovery. Bitcoin's gone all the way up, so this thing has a lot more of a green light to start moving up and breaking out of this area. Not to mention, like, it is kind of breaking out of an old trend line here that sort of started all the way back in late September, so about a month ago. Yeah.
I think anyone who's watching basically any coin has seen that trend line smashed in the last few days.
Yeah. This is the kind of, like, I think it's quite likely that we're approaching that kind of market climate where anyone's a genius. You know that kind of time where everyone seems like they know what they're talking about. Yeah, it's gonna go up, man.
Yeah.
No shit. Hey, it's Greybeard. What's happening, dude?
It's a greybeard.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Gray balls here.
I think your push to talk isn't working or something, Greybeard.
Too used to just hitting the meme button. You probably just posted 4 memes by accident, out of habit.
Can we buy an open flex from Mr. Graybeard?
Oh, there we go. No open flex from Mr. Graybeard. No, thank you. Appreciate it. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I logged out and logged back in, or whatever you call it.
Man.
Hey, but the fib extension, could you do that on BTC again?
Yeah, dude. All right. So if I go back to Bitcoin here, yeah. So the fib extension, so it's different from a fib retracement. A fib extension is talking about targets that go beyond the one. So to get these like targets that go up beyond, like into price discovery, basically, you pick a low, which I picked 30,000 basically. Then you pick a high, which I picked this major pivot up here, which was just under 53,000. And then the third point to get that extension is pulling it back down to the lowest pullback after that high. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, and this is called a trend-based Fibonacci extension tool. So this point here belongs here, but I've just pulled it across so that, the fib covers the price. But it's the same level. It's all about the same price level, right?
So
Yeah.
the way that Fibonacci works, for anyone who's trying to work it out, is it will now replicate that same growth and then same dip, then apply it that point
Yeah.
as the start. So it's kind of cutting out that 3-point move all over again to give you an indication of the same kind of growth that it had last time.
And another way you can do it is when you're drawing resistance. So you can use a Fibonacci retracement tool. If I delete that one and just take 0.2 to 3, so with a fib a fib retracement tool. So we know that 1-to-1 is back to, like, a 1-to-1 retracement is if price climbs back to position 1, which is 53, and we got that. But now we can see targets that go beyond 1. So we've already hit the 1272, the 1414, the 1618, and now we're gunning up to the 2618, which is up here 74,500 basically. But yeah, it's, I don't know, using the fib retracement to get extensions is like, maybe not as good as the trend-based fib extension tool. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I haven't used it often enough to know if one's better than the other. Maybe you can go back and see like what behaves better. But let's see. I'm going to test it on this move here. So from this low here, like, I'm going to see if this works. Actually, sorry, let me delete that and go from the $42,000 resistance down to the lowest point after that to get extensions beyond 1. Yeah, look at that. See, the 2618, I mean, it did get beat, but the all-time high pretty much capped out around the 2.618 fib based off this retracement, this pullback here. And then if you take it up to this one, to that pullback, so I'm picking this point here to that point there, it tips out at the 1414. the 1.414 Fibonacci extension.
Doesn't just go up there, touches it perfectly.
Yeah, some people, I know that there's like there's people that hate the fibs, like they're highly critical of how it works, and you know, like if you look at a fib, like there's a line that happens at so many different intervals along a stretch of the chart that the critique is like, oh yeah, you're bound to get a hit somewhere along that, you know, and you're bound to see, especially when the fibs are like quite short like this, you know, it's like, oh yeah, there's so many different spots, like of course it's gonna look like it's reacting off a line, but you know, whatever. A lot of people do
I mean,
use
there's
fib.
just as much. Sorry, man. You're right.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you could make that same silly argument just against, you know, marking out horizontals for like tops and bottoms. You know, they're just as valid. I think it just gives you more scope.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Hey, the fibs do not lie. That's
Yeah,
all I want to say.
I agree. I do have, I think the lines of support resistance, like, see, we capped out here at 42,000. The reason 42,000 is significant is because, you know, we got a huge pivot off there. So for some reason or other, the market saw that as a key level in price. There was, you know, arguably this was a back test of that level, that pivot there, and then this pivot here was, you know, once we lost it, because there was a bit of support here, we didn't just punch straight through it in one go. There was a couple of days where we actually used the $42,000 level as support, but we did lose it. We lost that support, came down, and guess what? Where we got cradled? Here. Same zone, $30,000, where the previous pullback was after that first 42 test. So this was, you know, a range between 30 and 40, or let's say 30 and 42. There was this range, and that's what sort of produced this whole limbo box, you know?
yeah. And we saw the same thing in DOGE as well, where it dipped down and then just channeled sideways forever.
Yeah. And check it out. There's another test of 42 right there. Like, yeah, there's a bit of action, you know, above and below the line, but for the most part, it's just this zone of support resistance. And then, you know, when we came up to 53, where did we back test? Like, pretty much around that same zone, 40 to 42k, you know? And here we are, like, going up. So, are there any other levels of a lot of price action? And there seems to be one here. Like, you've got highs all around 60. There's a lot of activity around 60 for some reason. So a back test to 60 wouldn't be like crazy to suggest, you know? It's not rocket science. It's quite easy. You just look left. Like, where's the bulk of the pivoting happening? Like, where's the support, where's the rejection coming from? So 60,000 seemed to be a pretty key level. Even, you know, the all-time high might get a bit of activity off that level, but I think 60 seems to be more significant, as it's, you know, also it's the big round number, you know, the big even.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where support resistance becomes so you know, pivotal, I guess, for lack of a better word. So yeah, like, fibs are still cool. Like, I love Fibonacci retracements and all that, but I think what takes the cake is, yeah, lines of support resistance, and yeah, trend lines too. Trend lines can also,
but not as importantly, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, trend lines probably not as important because they get broken quite easy. I mean, support resistance can too, but to get activity off of trend lines, it's not as common, I guess. But yeah, just check out where we found resistance on this climb here. Like, I had this red line on the top here of the wedge drawn in simply because of those highs there, these highs here. These are all the extreme highs during this climb up. So I just linked them up, and check out where the current punched through the all-time high, which is that pink line. Check out where it found resistance, right on that line.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know it was going to go there, but it's only because of these pivot, like these points that give you the answer kind of thing. Just like if we do crash back down, like if we correct, I won't say crash, it's a strong word, but if we were to correct back down, you can see we've got these dips here to give us the bottom of the wedge, right? This support trend line here. So it's not crazy to sort of forecast and project and see that, oh yeah, we might get a bit of support here before moving up, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And that would sort of line up with...
Still be super bullish.
Yeah, and that would sort of line up with support of where support was found here when we were, you know, winding up to get the punch to the all-time high. So, yeah.
You can see from that wedge that, it's going to squeeze at some point, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess the textbooks would suggest that we fall out of a rising wedge. But that might be where we get that $60,000 retest. Maybe not. Yeah. Like, Bitcoin has punched through a rising wedge before, like to the upside. So, and that happened.
Yeah, I could see that 60,000 becoming a support later, and that might be the area where alts really fucking run.
Yeah, and that's totally cool because, like, it's, you know, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin peels off. Like, we've seen that happen before. Like, let me see. Go back to the daily for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was doing these pullbacks here, the alts were still popping off. Like, they were still rallying and doing crazy things. And even through here, yeah. Because that money that's coming out of Bitcoin during those drops has to go into somewhere. A lot of the times it's the stable coins or fiat, but you know, a lot of that love will go into the altcoins, the ones that, you know, are gonna move heavy.
I think a lot of it sat on the sidelines with that last crash, you know, and you can just see from the total market cap now that money's coming back.
Yeah.
When you take into consideration a lot of the money included now is new money, there's probably a whole bunch of other money sitting on the sidelines waiting to come in.
Yeah, I reckon.
If ever there's confirmation, I mean, Bitcoin all-time high, that we finally hit it, hopefully the next few days are going to be nuts.
Yeah, this is where mainstream starts to cotton on, like, and start reporting, ooh, Bitcoin's hit a new all-time high, and it wakes the casual people back up, you know, the people that weren't ever that enthusiastic. Well, you know, they're not our level of interested in crypto, you know, but they wanted to have a go and make some quick profits. But yeah, those people, they're likely to get stuck and burned or whatever, because like I bet you a lot of people got, you know, caught out in the run that went up here. I mean, you know, a lot of us, including myself, like we held some Doge at ugly points when it was retracing. Like, let's check Doge out, because we got that huge SNL pump. I think it was on the way up to SNL, or like I think it was maybe 40 minutes before it aired. I was driving back home, and I was telling people on my phone, I was saying, you know, have an exit plan. Like, it's okay to take profit at the start of the event, because these things, like when there's an event, it can be a huge dump, like a sell the news type thing. So all of this was what SNL was all about. It's the climb to the event. It's not the event itself where you make the profit. It's the way up to the event. Yeah. And same with
biggest
420.
moves were the... Yeah, that's right, 420. Which essentially, in hindsight, 420 just basically felt like a textbook pump and dump, really, didn't it?
Oh yeah, like I mean, it definitely pumped, and you know, there was no one that was willing to. Yeah, there was no one willing to hold it beyond that as like an investment position. It was purely for, you know, quick gains. That 420. And by the way, I think 420 next year, which I'm probably going to mark on the calendar. There it is, April. Right here. So, you know, I don't think there was a 420 of 2020. I think maybe there was. I don't know. I wasn't around for that. Yeah, exactly. We just experienced the COVID dip. So this is where I'll make it green because it's 420 day. That's where the next 420 is. Where was
What are you
the
talking? 420 definitely happened in 2020. 420, 2020 was
420?
a celebration of
It
mine.
was? Okay. Well, let's see.
Copy that. Copy that. I'll say
Well, for
420.
Doge, no, nothing really happened around that day. Like, it was
Yeah,
just
I
all
remember that.
it was all recovery from the COVID dip, which was right down to here. Imagine,
Was it?
imagine
know what
grabbing,
it was? I think it was.
imagine
it was
grabbing
GME,
Doge.
dude.
Oh yeah, imagine grabbing Doge on that right there. That would have been
Oh, man.
incredible.
Imagine is all we're gonna do, man.
I know it's fun to just look back, but it's also painful.
Yeah.
But
Horrible.
yeah, there was.
Yeah,
I think that
my
whole.
son was being goofy.
I think that whole 420 being, the quote-unquote Doge day, that was this year. This year was the first official 420 is Doge Day type thing. So maybe that group that got it going, I think it was some Reddit group, the Wall Street Bets crowd, weren't they the ones that started that off?
No, because Wall Street Bets is no mention in crypto. So it might have been Satoshi or something. Satoshi Street Bets. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's 20th of April this year. You can see an obvious rally up to that day. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see something like that again this time around. Where we go from maybe
FOMO.
Yeah. Maybe
right
we
there and
Can we get some kangaroos in the chat, please?
maybe
Thank you.
maybe like Doge does a bit more, trending above like up here, and then we get the all-time high. Hopefully it's sooner than this, but you best believe there's going to be a rally that leads up and builds up to 420 in anticipation for April 20th. Yeah.
Going.
Because
Bigger.
I think
Drag it right the fuck up there.
I think that's the idea of April 20th, is that they're trying to make it like a calendar event that everyone can count on for Dogecoin. Perhaps.
So the moral to that story is get in around April 1 and pull out around the 19th.
Or at least keep your eye on it and see if there's any kind of hints of activity. It wouldn't hurt to hold some, a position that you're prepared to see, go down, or if not, not go anywhere. But I don't think it's not going to go I don't think it's going to be a failure to launch or anything. I think there's going to be some kind of action in Doge around the 20th of April next year.
Who even knows where we're at that point? What the launching pad is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a it's a Q2 event, right? Q2 at the start of Q2. We're very much into Q4, so it's not far away. So there's plenty of time to go out and save up your bickies and put them in when you're ready. I think
for anyone listening out there, that means
dollars, money.
Pennies. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are in it anyway. They're like, yeah, I've got my Doge. let's just hold out and see what happens come next year.
Yeah.
But I still think there's potential to see things happen between here and the next 420. Definitely, like there's going to be some, even just natural chart, technical breakouts, that kind of thing, because we are approaching an apex on this current support resistant these trend lines here.
Yeah.
Like right here, maybe we get another rejection test here and then breakout, but it is looking like this is probably going to be the way, like a breakup from here, because there's so much money back into the market. Yeah, same.
Yeah. But oh, man, look, if it just stays within that wedge and then kind of trades sideways a little bit, that's worst case scenario, I think. Because then we haven't really had an indication of where we're going. A nice early pop would be great. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If we stay trading, if we just wind down to pop back down into that wedge again, into that flag, oh, no, we did it before with Doge.
You can
That's
see
the soul
that.
chart.
You can see Solana has a very similar pattern to Doge, except it's on a bit of a shorter time frame. You know, we ignore this craziness here because it's kind of what we did with Doge, like around SNL. We just if you take that out of the equation and you just use these points, you get this consistent trend line that goes over the top. And then yeah, there's an expected break to the upside because of the way we entered into the shape from below in an uptrend. So it's like a big old
And I've seen that
continuation.
same downtrend line a few charts in the last few days in here, man. So
oh yeah, the alts are all
super
doing this.
bullish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Doge is gonna be.
Look at that shit. What is that? Is that what chart is that? An hour?
This is the Cheddar Chemical coin, a Chronicle. It's
Damn.
called Chronicle.
Course.
Chronic. There's $1.
And I mean, there's not a lot of resistance once you get up over that.
And
it's hard to read the numbers here.
To answer that question, this is Solana, SOL. Someone was asking what was that chart. Is that right? Someone was asking.
Yeah, even watching it, dude, I thought I was looking at the Doge chart. I was
Yeah, it looks similar.
Totally talking Doge. Yeah. Broke out a lot bigger, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Solana needed that. I was ready to call it dead.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like when they went through that whole transaction thing, like where it got flooded. Yeah, that was the damage was done like around here, I think. Because Solana looked like, oh yeah, it is coming off the all-time high. Then we got that bounce here, and it looked like it was, oh yeah, maybe we're going to start rallying back into price discovery again. But then it suffered that attack around here and came down. But it's held support pretty well. Like it came in, let's see, $128. Basically, $130 is a nice support zone or cradle for Solana. And I was still, you know, shilling it, I guess you could say. I was still recommending Solana as a good project, just fundamentally. And yeah, here we are. We're back into the 170s. It's just this point here is pretty tough. This is the resistance at the golden ratio, the 0.618, and we're approaching it now. And yeah, we really have to break through it. Maybe we get a cup and handle. See, it's like come up here, a cup, and then a handle. By the way, super chat from Johnny Barnes for $5. Buddy, Ricky, sup, mate? Let's now look at Win. Doge getting too much play. We know it's going to take off soon, I think. Lol. No worries. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll check out Wink. But yeah, Solana, I'm excited for Solana. I'm excited for Doge. Ethereum broke above that 4K resistance. That's that critical psychological level, and it's gunning for its all-time high now. Look at that. Look at how it's breaking up through a rising wedge. That's just a sign of like extreme bullish activity, like you know, bearish patterns being disrespected and invalidated, you know. So sentiment is king when it comes to price, I suppose.
Movement, that's it. Once people see those fat green candles,
yeah, it's like they don't care what patterns are drawing
go out the window.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's check out Wink at WIN.
Morning, guys.
Good morning, Jimmy. I read out that article to everyone that you tagged me in. It was a good one.
Yeah, nice, man.
Yeah,
it's good. As I said, I think Australia is going to try and lead the way here.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm all for that. All right.
Also, you're about to do TA on Wink, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I just want people to be aware that that coin, they made another version of that, and it's called Blink. So, and it does the exact
Oh.
same thing by the same company.
Ah,
So I don't.
it's copycat.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was like why they did it, but I think it might be directly taking away from Wink. So
kind of like how
yeah,
Shiba
it's just,
stole Doge's thunder.
yeah, so I don't know how well Blink's doing, but it's made by the exact same company and it does the same thing as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So I just want people to be wary of that as well.
Yeah, kind of like XRP and XLM. Like they both. I mean,
Yeah,
the
essentially, yeah.
the CEO like jumped ship from XRP and created XLM. What's his name? Anyway, Litecoin.
McCaleb.
Yeah, Jeb McCaleb. Litecoin stole a bit of thunder off Bitcoin when it forked. Or it didn't fork. It was its own project, but it was basically like a cut copy. Probably like different coding it, like, you know, it's different. It's a different project, but essentially it steals all the same ideas from Bitcoin. Kind of like how Facebook stole MySpace's thunder and completely ruined MySpace, I suppose. Anyway,
Destroyed, made them reset that thing.
Amazon
Uncle.
crushed eBay. eBay's still around, but yeah, Amazon definitely took the cake there. Apple and Microsoft, I mean, they're always neck and neck. They're always fighting it out, but they're both healthy. They're both doing well. It's pretty cool to see competing, like, two big juggernauts doing well. Like, they're still here today. They still have a place in the world. Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be two things surviving off their own merit, you know. So yeah. All right. So that's why I think the whole ETH killer thing, it doesn't have to be the way it goes. Like, it doesn't have to kill Ethereum. It just, they can all exist. They can all coexist. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be just one. All right, let's see. So we haven't even come up to test 236 yet. So if Wink is going to go into any kind of price discovery again, look how high this thing can go. Like, this thing's been up as high as, you know, just under 0.3 of 1 cent. So 0.003. Which would mean the return on that would be, from here going up to all-time high, would be 350%, basically. Now, so yeah, that's like the broad picture. That's like the macro view. But let's see. On the short term, like, what's happening here? It's just like, we've got this support line here, this trend line holding price up for now, and it seems to be being respected. This one had the same kind of feel to it, but eventually there is a point where it breaks. So just be aware that, yeah, that there might be a similar thing where it breaks down and then continues that same pattern again. But as far as like support resistance goes, it's very hard to read this chart because there's so many like crazy pivots and pumps all over the place. Like, it's like, where's the point of control? Wait, where's the, like, there's a bit of support going through here, cause somewhat resistance here, and now we're basically at that same level. Yeah, there's been some wick activity above it, but we're still pretty much at that zone of that traffic, right? We're still fighting to get through that traffic. The next major point would be up here to get above that pivot, and then, you know, eventually come up and test the first fib level. So yeah, I think there's more potential up than down right now. It's established these higher lows, you know, and that links up back here to the old price before that huge pump this year. So yeah, I don't think, just the state of the market right now, like, money is coming into the total market cap, so I don't see why an altcoin would just crash into the depths of hell, you know. Like, if anything, it'll hold value. Like, it'll just go flat and do nothing. But there's still, like, potential for it to climb up as well. Like, I think more potential for it to do that. And it is doing that. I mean, look, we've got an uptrend. We got a higher high and a higher low. So that's the start of an uptrend. So, yeah, keep your eye on it if you're interested in Wink. And that's probably the case with a lot of these alts. Like, they've all got this potential because they've been, you know, they've been waiting to see what Bitcoin does, because Bitcoin's the mover and shaker of this market. And it has to lead the way, so to speak. I hope that covers it, Johnny.
Okay, Rick.
Yo. Does anyone want to get a word in? Go ahead, Goose. Sorry.
The high on September 7th, okay? I was like trying to figure out why it's there. And I
for
really
Bitcoin?
only see a couple of hits. Yeah, yeah, of course, Bitcoin. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're right.
I really only see a couple of hits, like back in May and March.
Oh,
So-
Yep, I see them.
And so, like, it's just very, very mild right there. You see, like, it did never ran into it. I mean, I guess a little bit on
But it's not totally clear and obvious, is
March
it? Yeah.
3rd. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't see how something that was that small, that temporary. I mean, I don't even know if I could call May 10th a touch to that line. But that's curious to me. I think we should keep an eye on that level.
Yeah. So it's
I mean,
it's
it clearly has a purpose, right? Because it's there.
yeah,
But what's it there for?
Yeah. So 53,000 I'm going to call it. 53,000.
Yeah, like 52. Yeah, because I'm on the daily, I couldn't give a specific number if I wanted to, but yeah, 53. Yeah, 52,
Yeah, I mean,
47.
there's a nice, can you see the tweezer bottom pretty much cradling on that level here? Like, this is where this price went up, found resistance at just before 60, and then pulled back and got cradled beautifully at that 53 level. So that, to me, that's a significant reason. This is like just a bit of wick activity. It's nothing too crazy, but yeah, there's a wick pivot here, like a wick touch. Well, not quite. It's a little shy of it. This one, that's another wick. But yeah, maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's enough for it to have caused that that point of exhaustion for that initial impulse wave that we saw to 53. But we all know why it found support on the ABC correction here. That's our 42, 40-42 resistance. We've seen many examples of price
Late September,
capping
right
there.
here. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because we've got multiple hits on the way up.
Yeah, it is weird because check out this, like there's more of a blatant pivot here and here and here than these ones that are happening within a bunch of what seemingly like through the chop, like through all of this.
Yeah, it's almost like rude.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like
and-
I do what I want kind of pivot.
Yeah, and maybe that's why this pivot, it wasn't the top of the overall trend. Like this was just a like a stopover. It wasn't enough to hold the price down forever. So we smashed through it. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, good looking out. Good question as to why the hell, like why here.
Yeah, let me
I
turn
wonder
that,
if it's-
I'm gonna turn that line into a different color so I
I-
don't delete it on accident.
You know what? I wonder if it's a fib level as well. So if you take all-time high, like here, and take all-time high to the lowest low after that, is that hitting anything significant? And it just depends, because like some some exchanges have different highs than others, you know, like it's you know, it's marginal, like it's very small, but yeah, if you take it just to 30,
I'm on the Bitcoin tether on Binance right now, so you're right about that. But
yeah, and it's this golden pocket, this sweet spot that seems to be, it causes a lot of issues like for price climbing, and it also causes support for price falling as well. Like, see this zone here, like why did we get cradled here? Like what? Not only is it, yeah, previous resistance becoming future support, but is there a, yeah, like is it
2021? I think that was the first hammer on the rise up, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it had a little bit of a bump and then a little speed bump, which I'm sure looks great back then when this part of the chart was bigger. But its first like real high was that around that number.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Right.
it seems to be the 50% retracement back to the low. So yeah, if we're saying that's starting point, like that's the start of the race and this is the finish line, when price is falling, this is like it's 50% back to where it started, the move. And that's where, if it's to remain bullish, you're more likely to see the bounce happen in this area between the 0.5 and the 0.65. That's a very common area to see a bounce if things are to remain positive. And look where we got it. We got it right there on the 0.5. So with that being said, like let's say, okay, just hypothetically, let's say where we've just touched recently, 67,000. If that's going to be our current high for the foreseeable, like for the next few days, we can do a fib retracement back to this low here, which means you can see support.
Theory as to why it's going to be our current high for a little bit, and it's really dumb. But
it's all right.
It's because it's an even number.
Yeah, well that's fine. That's reason enough.
The last time it did this, it was literally 64 in zeros. You know what I mean? Like it was, hold on, where was it? All-time high was 64854 zeros. Nothing past the decimal, right?
Oh yeah, it's a round number,
and it was just 67 all zeros.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, it's
to have that many digits in a number and it in zeros is, what are the chances of that?
Well, it's because a lot of resistance would be there is a wall built there, like there's a big
it's
wall.
psychological number, right?
Yeah, that's it. But
I know a lot of people that would have said if they were trying to buy that high, they would have set it at 1 extra penny just to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or if you had to take profit, a lot of it would have been, 66,985. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the way to take profit. You don't take it at the round number. You take it just in front. Because you want to beat the crowd. That's pretty much. And when you're buying, you want to buy above big round numbers. So sell below them and buy above them. And by the way, this fib retracement. So from this low, where we came from, to our current high of 67, a pullback, like a retest. Look at where the 0.5 fib level comes to. It's back to that 53, what we were talking about just earlier. That would be like a natural, like a nice point to find support, and see how it looks like the structure if it was to do that. It's like a nice zigzagging uptrend.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's still bullish. Like even if it comes back down to that
if you
low.
Needed any proof that fib levels function, here's your proof right there.
Hey, Graybeard here.
Hey.
Yeah, hey, I want to make a couple comments on what you guys been talking about. And
go for it.
Yeah, I generally just drew a retracement that ran from the high back in the spring all the way down to what I perceive as the bottom, where we started to trend back up was in July. And first point is I do something I picked up from another analyst that I follow pretty closely, but that level that you guys are talking about at that 53, if you would go into your fibs and make an adjustment and change one of the settings that you don't use to like 0.702, that's right. That point that you all are talking about, that's where you saw that resistance, and we had the crash on 7 September. And then
Oh, right. Are you able to share your screen at all?
yes, I can do that.
All right,
Let's
sweet.
see.
And then because I'm streaming on YouTube, I'll show it if you don't mind, so they can see what you're talking about.
Okay, how are we looking? I'm gonna take some of this clutter off because that's really pertaining to the second point with these EMAs. So how is that looking?
Oh yeah, yep. I see the 53, the high.
Yeah.
Yep. First leg of that. Yep.
So yeah, so pretty much what you're considering, this is our lowest point back here in June and July. And like I say, this 702 retracement, this retracement is just drawn from all the way back where we crashed or went into a correction. This deep correction, we went back here on around 14 April and we went into this deep wedge and we started to trend up. And I just call this like, once we started this leg, I said, okay, this is wave 5. This is how I'm looking at this wave 5 on a higher level, but sub wave 1. And this level right here, this purple line, I don't know if you all can see that too good, but that's the 702 level, which is literally just a halfway point between the 618 fib and the 786. And historically, when you go back and look at major crashes on any chart, I mean stock charts, any of the cryptos where you had a major decline, you'll see where you have a bounce up, and it's going to respond somewhere between the 702 and the 786 level. And this area that you all are talking about right here, which is I'm calling the end of this sub wave 1 around 7 September, that's that 702 level that kind of triggered the resistance and the correction of wave 2. And we went down here. I had a target of 37.7K. We never met it. Well, we kind of got like a wick that first day, or no, we got the wick down on like the 21st because they were like a week apart. Yeah, about 39.6. So I was anticipating this to go.
21st of June, right? Or 21st.
No, this is September. We had a super crash or correction first week of September, 7 September, and we had a wick down to the 382 fib, which was 43.092. And then, we just traversed sideways a little bit, came back a week later, we took another dip, and we went down to the 382. But we had a wick come in the very next day that went down to like 39.7. What I had drawn in here was a head and shoulders, and the target was 37.7K. So
yeah, I got a low of 39.6 on September 21st. So yeah.
Yeah. So that correction even went a little deeper. Right here on if you look at that count on the 21st of September, we got a wick that went down to like 29.5, 29.3. So I'm saying all this to say I missed my target on that because we started to make this little signature slant to break out of this. And I did not anticipate coming out of this wedge like we did, what was that, 30 September or 1 October, because we was under so much resistance. You was under all the EMAs right here just laying on top of you. And you had a fib level that you had to fight through. This little triangle right here where I got these two white lines up in here. Let me see if I can just circle this part. So we had a extremely deep correction, probably like a 5-way correction versus a deep A, B, and C. But you was fighting against this angular resistance here. We had all the EMAs. I'll throw them back in there real quick. So that's a 20 simple moving average, 50, and a 20. Everything is just laying on top of it right there. And it broke through all of that night on 1 October. I thought that was phenomenal. And that really was, I started to say, okay, we're not going to see that 37 because immediately we started taking out the previous local highs, and it's been running ever since. So yeah, those areas y'all talking about, it's always been something, you know, going on there, and a lot of confluence. But that first point, that's the 70% retracement, and I believe we will see something like that. That is going to be a key point of support in the future for an upcoming correction. But that's going to play a role anywhere between this 53, well, yeah, between this 54 range till, let's say, 57. But yeah, I digress. Oh, one last point. And then coming across here last night, we got some angular resistance that we're playing on that we broke through with today, and we're sitting on top of it right now. That's in the midst of one of my forecast lines. But yeah, we're sitting nice and pretty above this resistance, and this is just coming across the neckline for a much bigger play. So yeah, I kind of agree with, I think there was you, Ms. Goose, that was talking about 64 being like the lowest support. Or
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I said that last night, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Call it to a T. So sitting above that, that's sitting kind of pretty for the moment. But yeah, I digress.
Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's that 53 number is creepy. But over to you, Rick. I'm gonna
it's all good.
pour me a glass of wine and have a cigarette.
Sounds good. Yeah, yeah, a back test of the all-time high seems pretty reasonable as well.
Exactly. Well, that's my first choice.
Yeah, there might be a bit of action on top of that as support, but yeah, it's very vertical right now. You know, it's taken off like crazy, and there will be a pullback at some point, like a significant pullback. Question is when and how far.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm just trying to look at it as worst case scenario, Mr. Rick, because if you think about it, okay, what's the general thing? Breaking out of a wedge or a triangle where the ascending and the descending is the return to where the wedge began. And guess where it's at? Right in this area, right up in here. Where it began.
I think we're going to have to see how it approaches the all-time high number. I mean, if it approaches it like, you know, just a swing, a breather, like, you know, hey, I'm going to take a break for a second, then that's one thing. And if it totally downtrends on it,
there are other lines that I haven't really considered. You know, there could be something happening from back here even. But I think it's already, it's already played out.
Yeah, I started drawing on my chart. My chart is streaming, Rick, so I started drawing, but it's work in progress.
Yeah, we've already smashed the all-time high. We're at full retracement. We're full retracement right now.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing sitting on top of us just right now.
Yeah, literally in price discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying when it does go back down to 64-ish, we've got to see like how it approaches it. Is it one big strong daily candle like slamming down through it, or does it encroach? Like, you know, what does it do? And then what's the news on that day too? Because, you know, if we get some funky news and it immediately comes back, like we're just not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to gauge how. I know it's going to go back to that number and probably through that number and probably down to 53, like you said, Graybeard. But it's how it does it. This, to me, is going to determine what the next 6 months are going to look like. You know.
Oh yeah, my immediate thing is I want to see this. My immediate support is the previous high. You know, 65.9. If we lose that, I just count backwards. I just said that this 702 area down here, that's my worst case scenario. But yeah, we got other stuff already in here. We got the all-time or the previous high. Then we got that correction level down here around 59. I mean, it's just so many levels. I just look at support and resistance. When one fails, I look for the next one. You know, just like a swing high, swing low. So.
Well, and the way that Bitcoin ran up and the alts didn't, right? And now the alts are. We're going to have a little bit of a pullback from Bitcoin because think about where that money's coming from, right? Everybody goes into Bitcoin, okay? And they go into Bitcoin because now there's an ETF. And now all of these crypto managers the banks have been hiring for the whole summer, their job is now real, right? So money's coming in from the old folks, like I said last night, just from people in general. for crypto. So it goes into Bitcoin, from fiat to Bitcoin right off the bat. And then these account managers are now, they're in charge of what they're going to take that Bitcoin and invest in, to diversify their portfolio. So that's why right now you're seeing this reach out to the altcoins, and the altcoins are coming up. So you're gonna have to get a pullback from Bitcoin because the liquidity is flowing through to the rest of the market. I don't think it's going to be like dramatic or anything, but it has to do that.
Yeah, I don't debate that at all, man. I'm just saying how I look at the support. My first point I'm looking at is what it just broke through. I'm hopeful there, but I'm also mindful that I got other layers down. I just don't see it going back to 54 just as fast, or that 702 region. And then I would just also say Mr. Sal and the real was talking about that chart. This is just something to think about, but it was talking about the phase of how the money flows or whatever, fiat to Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin to ETH. And then if you look at the little note on that chart, it said ETH will start to outperform Bitcoin. And right now I'm just looking at Ethereum at 6.37%. and BTC at a 2.6%. We got some alts that have been forming up, been eager to move out. They've been breaking out of it and positioning. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what the new day is going to look like and what's going to happen overnight. Over.
Can you see the percentage gain from yesterday for ETH and Bitcoin comparatively?
No, I'm just gauging right now from my watch list, and I'm looking at ETH has been outperforming Bitcoin for a few hours now, so it's kind of warming up.
I'm just wondering if it 100% flipped from yesterday. I don't know how to find like the percentage of movement without actually doing the physical math. I don't want to do that.
No, I just read the gauges on the fly. I'm in my rocket ship right now.
I put a picture in chart. I can't share my screen, so I put a picture in charts, and that's kind of what I did. Was took the previous 2 days percentage rise, and I redrew my bottom support line to line up with those two to kind of predict what I thought today would be. And that's why last night I was calling the 66,995. And anyway, I'm hoping it continues to do that same thing for a couple more days. And then like Mr. Graybeard said, the 64 whatever we had the previous high, that becomes our new support. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, because I got a fractional I'm kind of playing with. I'm playing with a couple strategies, and it's not exact, but it is showing some horizontal movement for the next several days. And then I got some forecasts for some alts to like start taking out some flip levels within the next 48 hours. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I like this kind of project.
68,495.
Yeah, I remember your call last night too, Mr. Oki. That was, y'all were on it.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'm hoping, like London was just saying, maybe that's the new high for tomorrow. I have to do the math on it again. I haven't done that yet. I was finishing out my chart. It's a simple chart, but I finished it out. See how I landed. Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do the same thing, because I'm hoping that like the next high up will become a channel for, like you said, Graybeard, horizontal movement. I think that would be the healthiest thing right now if we're going to see money go into altcoins. I'd rather see Bitcoin just move sideways a little bit.
And then there was silence.
Yeah.
Oh no, we need a crickets hotkey.
Yeah, I'm gonna digress for a little while and just wait the next hour out. But thanks for inviting me into your stream there, Mr. Rick, and let me share with your audience as well.
You're welcome.
And,
pleasure. Thanks for
disappear in the general again.
Thanks for sharing what you got.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, yo.
Remember that SwiftX exchange I used to tell you about?
Yeah.
I think they're about to make a coin.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they put up like this logo and like a little square and said coming soon.
Oh, okay. Are they an exchange or a brokerage? CoinSpot's
It's
a
an
brokerage.
exchange.
It's an exchange? Okay. Sweet. How do KuCoin fees compare to Binance? That's what I want to know. Check that. Both Binance and KuCoin have low trading fees starting at 0.1%, but with discounted rates using their native tokens, Binance is lower at 0.075% versus KuCoin's 0.08%. Oh, they're much the same. Binance is just slightly lower by 0.005%. That's nothing.
Did it look like KuCoin was going to work for you, or did you suss it out yet? Or
I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, I've been just enjoying doing the whole streaming thing and hanging out in the chats, and you know, there's a bit of real world stuff that I've been doing too. Not that this isn't the real world, this is the virtual world. It's all online, but yeah. There's plenty of time. The alts haven't even popped yet.
Yeah. Did you see they're doing the buy crypto expo via Minecraft or something?
Buy crypto expo via Minecraft. Okay, that's the first I'm hearing of it. What's that about?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I keep getting this ad that pops up on my Facebook page because I obviously like a lot of crypto stuff, and it was something about the Dubai Expo, and it's all done on Minecraft, so it's like virtual world. I guess everyone talks in it or something.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I had no idea. I've never even played Minecraft, but I know it's popular. Wow, I'm at 7,499 subscribers. Who's going to be the 7,500th person? Like and subscribe, both on my channel and Pisket's, and Static's channel. And B has a channel too that's just started up, so it's only in its infancy. B Crypto, Static Trading, Pisket, Crypto Down Under.
Yeah, I think Darill's out there too.
Oh, and Darill. Why do I always forget to mention that? He's the man. He called so many positions on this run. So many targets were like, yeah, he's got a knack for it. Darill. Let me find all of these links and put them in my descriptions so that people see them without me having to, go grab them every time.
What's up, Rick?
Hey, what's happening? I'm just giving all the channels, all the partnering channels a shout out here. Getting them some traffic, well-deserved traffic. So let me start by putting out, let's see. This one
While Rick's doing that, I know I posted a super chat earlier. I hope you guys saw it. I just want to really thank everybody in here for blowing up the YouTube today. That was really nice of you.
Sweet.
My guys were like, I think we're under attack. I'm like, no, we're not.
I would have been sleeping at the time, so but
yeah,
that's
we were
cool.
actually listening to it at the same time. That was pretty funny.
Shift key stuck.
Well, I was joking around with my guys because I said that's the power of the piston arm. I said we better not piss these people off. Just come in and dislike everything.
It was really funny though, and I heard somebody go, "Is that? Do they mean good or do they mean bad?" And Biscuit's like, "Put a bunch of hearts in the chat."
Oh my God! I happened to be looking at my YouTube at that time, and I was looking at somebody else's comment in my YouTube, and then all of a sudden, at the exact same time, like it wasn't even. It was just so coordinated. All of a sudden, the YouTube chat just went.
Yeah, it was super
like,
coordinated.
oh my God.
I didn't get to go because I was working, but I got to listen. We had man, it was a blast today. It's not like I was listening to a radio station all day long, just like comedy and music, tons of stuff. It was great.
Well, we're trying. We're trying.
Bottle that shit.
It is hard to fill up 12 hours with just crypto.
Yeah, if you would have heard what was going on in here earlier today,
Oh
dude,
my God.
all day long, really, all day.
I was fucking dancing. Fuck, it's been a fun day. So much fun.
There's so much content. Like, oh my gosh.
Happy women make for a happy village.
What was he screaming today?
Yeah.
He
wore himself out too. I haven't heard from him in a minute.
Oh my God,
he was wore out by noon.
Oh, we wear him out.
All the fun shit happens when I'm at work.
People are looking at me like, what the fuck is she listening to?
Alright, in no particular order, I've got a list of those other channels in the description of my stream now. So there we go.
Thank you, Rick.
No worries.
Yeah, Rick, where were you last night?
Leaping. Yeah,
okay.
gotta get those.
You were
those
painting
sleep
a
hours
house?
in. Gotta get my beauty sleep. No, I wasn't painting a house. The house is painted.
No, that's a nookie call.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Edit that again. I am so OCD, like I forgot some semicolons here and there, so putting those in right now. There we go.
Oh, that reminds me. I have a snippet to put in the general. Maybe but there's no names on it, so it's probably okay, right?
Yeah.
Alright, where are we at? Where is Bitcoin at? It's actually potentially doing a bit of a climb here. I mean, just be careful. It could be a falling knife, but there's a bit of activity heading up in the last 15 minutes.
Goose, where can you get a hoop skirt?
At the hoop skirt shop.
Random.
Costume store. Do you have a costume store? You have to Google that.
I'll have to, yeah.
Or you could make one.
Nah, I don't think.
Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
Exactly. Maybe if I tie some of those noodles around me, could make it like the 1700s.
Good shit, Goose. I just saw your post, man. Good shit.
Thank you.
London, try some Velcro tape. Then you could use a noodle or a hula hoop or whatever you wanted.
Oh yeah, I could do a hula hoop. Thank you. Here comes Marie Antoinette. Scare all the kids.
Hey Rick, it's Steve.
Hey Steve. How you doing?
All right, hanging in.
Yeah, pretty good.
Falling knife. How do you identify that? Like, or does that just mean like a
It's just a
quick dip?
Yeah, it's kind of like just like a very casual term thrown out for when price is pulling back. You know how people say, "Oh, bought the dip," but then it kept dipping, but that's because they bought the knife, which is basically just a relief rally in a downtrend. So,
gotcha.
You know, it's where you buy this point expecting that to be the pivot to take it back into an uptrend, but then it hits resistance and then it continues its path downward, and you're stuck holding this position. Becomes a bag, you know. So that's a falling knife.
DOGE is a good example.
Yeah, Doge has plenty of falling
Yep.
knives on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah, in a
bounce
situation
here.
like that, it's best to pull out further on the chart. If you think like, oh, it's found its bottom, you know, it's not going to go down anymore, then just zoom out some more, zoom out some more. Make sure that the bigger time frames tell you the same thing.
Yeah, totally. It's a good rule of thumb.
Because the 1 minute is a liar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 1 minute, you get no perspective on the 1 minute. The only perspective you get is what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, and then that's it, kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah, it's only useful for scalp, really quick scalps.
Then I would watch the 15.
Goose.
Yes.
I remember the joke they told this morning.
Do what?
The joke they were telling about the hillbilly.
No, I don't remember.
I don't
There's
remember.
so much content today, and occasionally I have to take my headset out because somebody would, you know, want to talk to me at work. God forbid.
This was an epic joke, though. I have not laughed so hard in so long. I wish I could remember it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess regardless of 420 and Saturday Night Live being pumps for Doge, Doge has maintained a new floor which is much higher than its previous floor. You know, its old floor used to be, you know, below 1 cent, for God's sake, you know, right? And then the next floor up, the next level, its floor was, you know, around 4.5 cents. Yeah, 4 or 5 cents. And now the next floor we're dealing with is 16 cents. So it's raising the bar each time. Each time there is, even if it's just a pump, like a so-called pump, like that's based off social media hype, like viral sensationalism, you know, that kind of thing, like euphoria. It has held its ground. You know, of course there's a fallout of it, but Yeah, the floor is being raised each time. Which doesn't always happen in these pump type things that happen. Because when you see a true shitcoin pump, it'll come straight back to where it started and continue to go flat. And
you think that might happen to Shiba?
Doge used to do that before Elon Musk came along. Doge used to do that. It used to, look at this. I mean, I'll circle it right now. Look at that one there. Saw a massive pump and then it came straight back to where it came from. Even here, that was like similar story. Those right there, those pumps, they came straight back down. That dip there, obviously, that was the COVID dip, but yeah.
Well, we haven't fallen back to that other zero. I mean, do you think we might? This is the new floor for us?
Do you mean?
Because we ate that 1 0 up, so we had 5 zeros months ago. I would say
for
maybe
Shiba.
what? Like,
you're talking about Shiba now?
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
I thought that's what y'all were talking about. Sorry
no,
about that.
it's all right. Doge. It's all good. Let me open up the Shiba chart.
Yeah, I was actually asking about Shiba.
Oh, were you?
If it could retrace a lot the way Doge has before.
Well, that's
As long
the
as we
thing.
fall back down to that 1 0, I think we're good.
Just remember the fundamental difference between the reason Shiba is up here is because they went through a coin burn or a token burn. It's not because of the pump wasn't caused by the same effect as what Doge had. Doge was like an event, like a 420 and the SNL on the 8th of May, the May 8th thing. Those were like calendar event pumps, whereas this thing was the result of the tokenomics. Like, it's a fundamental thing that drove it up here. But yeah, like totally different. Like the causation behind each of them. It's a different scenario, different setup. But yeah, Shiba's holding ground up here. Like it's still healthy. Like, check out.
I mean, Sheep has some pump element to it, but you're right. I mean, that burn was the cause.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and obviously people jump in and take advantage of it. So part of it, yeah, part of the growth is people getting into it, like buying into the hype. I think every move up has a bit of that going for it, even on Bitcoin. You know, people jump on.
What the safest thing to say would be that this would be like somewhat the new floor without that zero, mostly because of the burn. I hope we don't go back down with, I don't really think we're gonna do that though.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. It could happen. The best person to ask would be Prolific. He's very researched on Shiba. He knows a lot about it. I don't even know how much they burned.
No, Static has him over there on his channel, man. We'll let him come over here.
He's got a chain around his ankle and he's being held there.
Just tell him to post a chart for us and we'll try to decipher it.
All right. I was trying to find that one shit he posted like a month ago, but couldn't find it.
I hate it when a cat sits at the door acting like it wants in, and then you open the door and it's like, I mean, maybe I'll come in. I don't know.
That's like, yeah, my cat screaming like when you get home after being out all day, like crying for food. Give her food and then she walks away from it. Doesn't even touch it. It's like, okay. I don't know what you want.
My cats won't even go outside. They just stare outside. They'll like go up to the door even if it's open and just stare outside a little bit. But they won't. They don't even want to leave.
Yeah, they're not used to it. They're like, ooh, it looks scary out there. Look at those
Yeah,
birds and those squirrels. They're gonna get me.
I'll get my mittens wet. I don't want to walk on the grass.
Yeah. These are spoiled house cats. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, reminds me of Garfield.
Yeah, they're big and fat like Garfield too. What does it mean on Market Cypher when there's like a red dot, a green dot, a red dot, a green dot, like it's like all over the place?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Rick, do you know what I mean?
Can you ask that again? Sorry, I was deep in the middle of reading something. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. I was wondering, like, have you ever, like on Market Cypher, what does it mean when there's a red dot, a green dot, a red dot, a green dot, like there is right now on the daily for BTC?
On the daily? Oh, you mean on the little momentum dots? Yeah. So that's when your money flow, your MFI, which is the yellow line. That's, sorry, not the MFI, the VWAP. That is when it has crossed the 0 line. Let me change this to a line. I don't know why that changed back to default, but anyway. Let me go full screen on it. So, see this yellow line here? I don't know if you're looking at my screen or not, but...
I'm looking, yeah.
Okay, cool. So this yellow line, when it crosses the 0 line, which is right here on the side here, it produces a dot of momentum. So if it's coming from underneath like this, and it crosses 0, look at that, green dot. If it crosses back down below from above, it produces a red dot like there. If it crosses above it, like here.
I was wondering where those dots come from.
Yeah. So it's just indicating that there's been a shift in direction for the VWAP. So these are VWAP momentum thingies. Yeah, they're pretty helpful. So, and then you've got the separate signals up here. These are actual buy-sell signals. So the sells up the top, and then the buys down the bottom. These green ones. But yeah, these are the on-wave little momentum dots or momentum shifts. And see the caps on these waves. So you got like a lighter blue cap that comes up. Wait, this over here is probably a better example because it's clearer. So you get this like lighter blue cap on the wave, and when it starts to point down to a point and then switch to dark blue, that's when you get the, like right at that point where it switches, they'll put that dot. Same in the other direction, when it goes from dark blue to light blue, they'll put a green dot where the switch happened. And that, you know, it indicates where the momentum's going, like where the move is heading. So right now on Bitcoin, we're dealing with a huge momentum wave on the daily, which has been in effect since, you know, the start of October, which we all know. 1st of October, we just started going up. And, you know, it's been switching, like, you know, momentum has been like going up and down, up and down, up and down, all on top of this huge wave. But there's going to be a point where one of these red momentum dots come in and sends the wave back down when Bitcoin does correct off this move up. And it will be a larger type correction. It won't just be like a few candles. It'll be like, you know, a corrective trend. Like it'll be made up of many candles. kind of like what we just came out of over here. See, this was like an ABC correction. That was a whole trend, a whole downtrend that we experienced there. But everything else has been up. So uptrend simply is when the moves up are longer than the moves back. That is an uptrend. And then vice versa, a downtrend is when the moves down are longer than the moves up. And that's as simple as it is. So right now, like, our moves up are longer than our moves back. To tell when we've pivoted is, you know, when we get a deeper low, when a lower low, you know, that would be a change in direction. And not to mention a lower high, which is why a head and shoulders is a reversal pattern like that. Something that would happen like similar to that.
Okay. Thank you. That's very good.
No worries.
Would we expect the way that Bitcoin is just going up and up in that channel or wedge, rising wedge, or whatever you want to call it? Would we expect that to typically at some point go to the downside?
Yes. Yeah. Because it won't just... Yeah, it can't just stay in that channel forever and go up until Bitcoin hits $5 million or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a point where the demand is outweighed by the supply. So the reason we've been going up is because demand has been stronger than supply. So any supply that gets put on the table, the demand eats it up and we climb higher. When supply... You know, when these bulls that have been driving the price up, when they start to think, oh, okay, I'm happy to start taking profit now, that's when the momentum starts to slow down. You know, and there's a point, just like when you throw a ball into the air, like there's a point where the gravity just overcomes the momentum, and you know, it goes the opposite way, falls down. Same thing with the market, right? It's just like that demand does have a limit. Like, there is an end to the demand. You know, and these indicators, these oscillators, especially with the relative strength index, the RSI, that shows variance, or like the differences between the highs, and that's where you get the bullish and bearish divergence. Like, so the whole point of bearish divergence, or bullish, you know, divergence full stop, is to show a difference in strength between these highs. You know, so bearish divergence is saying that the highs are getting weaker, which means things are about to turn around. You know, the buying is slowly dropping off. Less bulls are coming in to keep driving the price up, and then you get that correction. So right now, there is no obvious divergence. Like, everything seems to be quite confluent on the relative strength index, the RSI. So yeah, there's still a lot of headroom to go. Like, check out the weekly as well. You can see how elevated the weekly can get. It can go all the way up to, like, you know,
oh my god,
the mid to high 90s, and we're only back here below, just up, almost testing 70 on the RSI. We're at 69.04. So on the weekly, which is actually divergent at this point, it can correct itself. So see how the highs are lower on RSI? Like, we've got this peak here, and then right now it's quite low. That is bearish divergent. So we've got low here, like lower price, but higher. Like, we've just come up and made a new high. So that means price is climbing over time, but RSI is falling over time. So that's divergent, which means there's going to be a bearish correction off that. But it just depends how far back you do the look back for the divergence. Like, do you ignore peaks that happen, you know, from such a massive stretch in time, you know? It just depends. And I don't think many people would be looking for divergence on the weekly, like between, you know, yearly gaps, like 12-month gaps, you know? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they are.
I don't know, but the indicator doesn't do that, right?
Yeah, I tend to look at things more on the daily, like if I'm looking for divergence, because I don't trade those. I don't hold positions that go more than I haven't done it yet. Like, I haven't done those long swing positions, but I definitely wouldn't be going long for the big long haul from here. Like, I'd wait for another pullback. Like, if I had the fiat at the time, I would have bought, you know, I wanted to see more action into the 20s, the 20Ks, but I think that was a bit greedy to expect the price to dip that low. You know, the game's just changed too much. Like, there's too much institutional involvement this time around compared to the bear market we had in 2018.
Yeah, I think that's the main difference.
Yeah, it's just a different game this time around. And maybe in 5 years it's going to be a different game again. Like, maybe you're going to get governmental involvement and, like, you know, more of that. I mean, we've had a bit of that. We had El Salvador involving themselves quite heavily in Bitcoin, but yeah, other than that, like, I think the rest of the world is still kind of sleeping on crypto.
It's waking up though. So many
Yeah.
people were talking about Bitcoin today. It was, and they're surprised. Like, oh, you know about that? You know about this coin, or you know about that? It was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's right. They are. Like, there's more and more people are sort of paying more attention to it the higher it goes, and the more adoption, you know, as well. Because that's the other thing, is the actual use case. Like, why does it exist? Like, what's its actual function in the real world? And yeah, the more shops, the more things accepting cryptocurrency. Like, you know, we've got MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, even, you know, we've got Tesla talking about crypto. Wait for Apple and Amazon and, you know, all the rest of those big companies to start talking about, like, avenues for adopting cryptocurrency. Because they're yet to really make a move on it, I think. I don't know.
There's so many like us that haven't found a home. Well, we found a home, but like,
yeah.
So I'm so glad that you sent me the links, because I have several people. I'm like, no, you just need to come in and just, you know, sit and shoot the shit with us.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you for sending those links.
No worries. And to anyone that's tuned in on my YouTube stream here at Crypto Down Under, check the stream, like the video description. You'll see, like, more information. There's a bunch of links to other channels that you should check out and subscribe to, and you'll see them listed there. Just open them up. So we got The Real Republic 2021. We got Static Trading. Pisket has his main channel, and he does have a backup channel too, so check those both out. And then there's B Crypto Live. B is also like a fresh channel that's just hit the scene, so yeah, definitely check them all out. And for now, I think I'm going to just take a little bit of a break, play a game, and then I'll keep my eye on Bitcoin right now. I'll leave the chart up and we'll watch how it goes. It looks like it's kind of peeling off that high that it made for now. It kind of looks like a bull flag. Wouldn't that be nice? How much more can we squeeze out of this this activity?
68,495.
Ethereum looks like it's trying to keep going up.
Oh yeah? And yeah, I guess we're less than half an hour away from the daily, so we'll see how that behaves.
Are you gonna leave right before the daily candle? That's...
No, I'm not. No, I'm here. I'm just playing a game in the background. But I can hear you all.
Hey Rick, you know how you were talking about the ball, how it goes up and then, you know, it kind of drops back down. I like to think about. I kind of started thinking about this a while back, but you know how you have those little trick planes, maybe those little biplanes, and you'll see them go up. You know, if they go up at an angle, they'll go up and go up and go up, and then eventually they'll kind of stall.
Yes.
And they'll fall.
And they
They'll
scoop
fall
down.
until they. Yeah, and then they finally reach a velocity where their rudders and everything can take effect, and then they can kind of go back up again. And they can continue to rise by doing that, you know. But
Yeah.
if they just turn and go straight up, then they stall, and then they end up in a free fall for much further before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If it's if the climb's too violent, they'll stall. Yeah, just like the price. But if it's a gradual climb, yeah, you're right. It'll maintain its altitude.
Yeah, and when it does finally reach, you know, that thin air, and it can't keep gaining altitude, then when it does fall, you know, it's at a much slower rate, and it doesn't have to fall as far, especially when the price is up like it is right now. So you're talking about, you know, those percentages. So it doesn't necessarily have to, you know, like a ball doesn't stop in midair and go back up. It has to go all the way to the bottom. You know, that was my point, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a good point. The resistance line here for Bitcoin is currently being tested, like on this flag. See if we can punch through it and turn the trend around back to an uptrend. And I'm talking short term right here. Like, I'm on down on the 15-minute chart. Alright, YouTube, I'm gonna pass it back over to, well, I'm gonna turn this stream off and I'll be back later on, but the Discord that you're hearing is coming out of Pisket's channel, and remember, the link to his channel is in the description of this stream here too, so if you want to go over there, go for it. By the way, he's got links to his Discord in his stream, as far as I know, so that's if you want to get in here and ask questions and, you know, share your thoughts. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. His channel will cover the whole like closing of the daily candle, but I'll still be in here. I'm still listening and talking inside the Discord. So anyway, thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Rick. You're awesome, bud.